was a Russell Westbrook comeback. He was phenomenal. The Thunder were getting run by Orlando, down by as many as 21, and Westbrook remains furious at every rim he's ever seen. 31 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists through 3 quarters. To the fourth, here come the Thunder. They're down 7. Westbrook bulls his way past Terrence Ross. 6-point deficit. Euro hits the deck and hits the bucket. Under 2 to go. Westbrook, still down, finds Andre Robertson. Robertson hits that. Now Westbrook buries the 3. Suddenly the deficit's just 1. 19 points, 3 boards, 1 assist in the fourth quarter. 13.7 to go. Thunder down 3. Nikola Vucevic, not a great free throw shooter. The key miss. Westbrook, give me that. And while we're at it, give me these. Come on. All 3 of these. And he's tied the game. Check it out. He's doubled essentially from half court on. It doesn't matter. He pulls from over 30 feet to tie the game. It goes to overtime. And you know the script from here. In overtime, maybe others are tired, but here he puts the weekend on his hip, spins and hits. And this is a road crowd. A road crowd. I'm going to talk MVP in a minute. They're letting you know how they'd vote.
Look at the crowd here, folks. Listen here. This is a road game for the Thunder, and they're yelling MVP.
He's making a compelling argument this entire season. He's got 55 and then more, just 2 more. 57, the most points ever in a triple-double in NBA history. The Thunder come back from down 21 and win. Russell, your thoughts?
This was the biggest comeback in Oklahoma City franchise history. What did it take, particularly on the defensive end, for you all to do this down the stretch?
Grit, man. We needed everything, man. We got some shots when we needed 3 stops on the man. Made some big shots down the stretch. So it was a huge win for us.
Russ, you guys clinched the playoffs tonight. What's the mentality that you all need to have heading into this final stretch before it all happens?
Constantly keep getting better. Take one game at a time. You know, we started off a little sluggish tonight, and, you know, that's a good team, especially at home. And I thought we did a good job of making steps forward and getting them out the win.
If you've been watching the show, you know this is normally when we ask, is Westbrook still averaging a triple-double? Whose man is this? Obviously, the answer is still yes. The more important question tonight, did he score the most points in NBA history by a player who had a triple-double? And as we told you, yes, he did. This is Westbrook's second 50-point triple-double of the season. There's only one other player in NBA history with a pair of 50-point triple-doubles in a single season. That's James Harden, who has also done it this season. Pretty remarkable. You go through all these years, it doesn't happen, and then, well, these guys are going head-to-head for the MVP.
One big thing.
The NBA season will end by the time we get back after the Masters and a little vacation on the back end, and it didn't want to let that pass without joining the discussion on the NBA's MVP race. It's a compelling conversation in advance of what figures to be an incredibly close vote. There can be cases made for a handful of players. Some will tell you that LeBron James is like Michael Jordan, the best player in the league every year, even if he isn't recognized as such with the MVP. I would agree, that's true. I also believe Kawhi Leonard's ability on both ends of the floor is a distinguishing factor worth considering. He's the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, and he averages 26 points per game. Though both are worthy, this ends up coming down to a conversation of James Harden or Russell Westbrook. As you know, Westbrook is likely to average a triple-double. I never thought we'd see anyone join Oscar Robertson. He's going to. You watch the end of the game against Dallas Monday where OKC scores the last 14 points and he has 12 of them, including the game winner, and you say, that's the MVP. You watch tonight with a 19-point fourth quarter, a 57-point triple-double, and another comeback win, albeit against a team headed for the lottery, and you might just say that's the MVP. Now, this isn't a knock. It's a fact. He's on pace to take more shots than Allen Iverson ever took in a season. Iverson's season high was 1,940 shots. He played more than 42 minutes a game that year. Westbrook's on pace to take 1,977 shots, playing almost 8 minutes fewer per game. He's getting his shots up. He's stat chasing. But it has been a blast to watch. I feel obligated to go out of my way to make that clear. Westbrook's relentless, furious will to compete is something to behold. James Harden statistically is better. He's more efficient. What he's doing running Houston's offense is a sight to behold. No guard in the game is a tougher check because he's the best pick-and-roll player, which is why he leads the league in assists. The jab, step, and drive leads to more free throws than any player in the NBA. The jab, step back allows him to kill you from three as well. Neither has a fantastic supporting cast. Neither has another true superstar. But I think the compelling argument can be made for Harden because what he does makes Houston better, makes them the 51-win team at the moment. OKC has 43 wins, you could argue, because Westbrook singularly won't let them lose. That's compelling too. I think Westbrook will win. If I had a vote, which I do not, it would go to Harden. Mark Jackson standing by, and Mark, you've heard my soliloquy there on the MVP race. I want to get your thoughts on this game in Golden State in a moment, but this conversation about the MVP's gone on all year long. As a guy who played in the league for so many years, where do you come down on this?
I tell you what, watching a lot of basketball growing up, playing in the league, coaching in the league, covering the league, I've never said this before, but I really believe it should be co-MVP. I think it would be a crime when you look at the season that both of these guys have had. Certainly other guys in the discussion if it was a different year. But both of these guys, you look at the numbers. I mean, it's absolutely fascinating to think that somebody could put up numbers like this and both of them are doing it. I really believe it would be a crime if one of them did not win the MVP. So I would feel complete if both guys share the award.
It's funny, when Kobe said that the other day and people were kind of heckling him saying, oh, you don't want to make a pick. I mean, the odds of it coming down to that are probably pretty small. And I mean, you heard what I just said. I don't know how you necessarily differentiate. You know, you could say the Houston head-to-head between the two if that's where you fall. I don't know what the tiebreaker would be. But I mean, you know, in Westbrook's case, and we see it again tonight, a 57-point triple-double. I mean, there's only one guy ever before who's done that. What do you think about just focusing on Westbrook, what we're seeing from him?
I totally agree, but I feel the same way. If you do that, then you're minimizing what James Harden is doing with the Houston Rockets, a team that was, you know, headed in a totally different direction at the end of last season. But all of a sudden, they are relevant and have a legit chance. So I'm not co-signing either one of them. I will co-sign for the first time, like I said, in my life. I'm a guy that would sit down and say, no way in the world, you got to make a decision. Right. No, these guys both deserve the award.
You just watched a heck of a comeback from a team playing back-to-backs where they beat Houston and they beat San Antonio. I realize, Mark, it's just one of 82, but what does this one say to you about where Golden State is, especially absent Kevin Durant?
Well, they're playing with a lot of confidence. After a tough start to this ball game, down 15-0, down 23-3, they hung around, and you say, well, the ability to shoot the basketball never eliminates you out of a ball game, but it's not just that with this Warrior team. The ability to defend, the ability to lock down at multiple positions and play with pride on the defensive end, that plus the shooting ability got them back into this ball game and came up with a huge win.
I just want to ask one quick follow-up as it relates to Golden State, and maybe it's just where we've come to as a society that we get sick and tired of hearing the teams, and for some reason this is a 61-win team that people want to heckle and make jokes and blew a 3-1 lead, this and that. Do you feel like this is a 61-win team that to some degree is slept on or disrespected?
No, it's a guy called Kevin Durant that's sitting over there in a suit and kicks waiting for the opportunity. Now all of a sudden you got another home run hit in that lineup. If they get them back healthy and whole, they're going to be a tough out. I mean, you look at a two-time MVP in Steph Curry. You look at a great basketball player in Klay Thompson. You look at Draymond Green and what he brings to the table. This is a talented basketball team with an outstanding leader in Steve Kerr. They've done an outstanding job, and they are clearly the favorite.
Mark, if you could hang for just 1 second. Greg Popavich after the game, you won't have to wait long. This is the entirety of Pop's comments after the game.
They played great. They made shots. Curry, Thompson, Iguodala, you know, they all made tough shots. David West made shots, and I thought they were pretty sharp in their cutting. They moved the ball better than we did, and they just played better.
Seemed like their defense picked up a little bit too.
Well, they're a great defensive team. They did a good job. All their switching bothered us. We didn't get great movement. We didn't get great shots. That's why they're the best team in the league.
What was working well for you guys in that first quarter? Was it just a factor of you guys? You had 11 points all.
We made shots. We made shots. I thought they were a little sloppy defensively, but they got it back certainly. Anyone else?
Was Kawhi, I guess the way that they played him, did that wear him down a little bit, you think?
I doubt if he's worn down, but they did a good job. Anybody?
And that'll do it. Mark, you're smiling. Look, Pop has very little tolerance for the exercise. I understand it. And he also knows that this one game doesn't, in the grand scheme, mean everything. But where do you feel like the Spurs are as we head towards these last couple of weeks before the playoffs?
Well, they're a veteran basketball team that has a legit chance as well as anybody to beat this Warrior team if you say somebody has a chance. The reason why, because they're disciplined, they play to their strengths, they're extremely well coached, and they defend at a high level. That's what we saw to start this ball game. But what you cannot do against this Warrior team is take your foot off the gas pedal. They're not going to quit. They have the heart of a champion, and they showed it on full display tonight.
Mark, appreciate the time. Thanks for hanging out with us after the game. Be well.
Thank you. Great weekend line, too, in the opening graphics.